Hello and welcome to SudoKanard. Here is an arrow Sudoku puzzle which was created by Indian author Rakesh Rai for the WPF Sudoku Grand Prix in 2015. That's a while ago. And it was worth 100 points, which is a very high total for an arrow Sudoku and for a Sudoku puzzle in Grand Prix in general. And I chose this to prepare for the next round, which is organized by China and has an 80-something arrow puzzle. Oh, let me check in a moment. That's 81, yes. So it's going to be somewhat difficult. Sorry about that. I had to plug in the battery charger. Right. So what was I saying? So this one should be pretty difficult. So let's see. My attention is drawn to those arrows. Those three digits have a minimum of 1 plus 3 plus 4. So that's a minimum of 8. Could be 9. Could be 9 with 1, 3, and 5. So there's always 1 and 3 here. So 1 and 3 with 4 or 5. Let's do the same here. That's a minimum of 1, 2, 3. So minimum of 6, maximum of 8. And it must have a 1. And if it's 8, it's 1, 2, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. So there has to be a 1 and a 2 here. And 1 can never go here. Right? Here we have a minimum of 6. Couldn't be 6 or 7, so it has to be 8 or 9. But there are a number of options. It could be, without using 5, it could be 1, 3, 4 for 8, or 1, 2, 6, or 2, 3, 4 for 9. So a lot of choice here. And this one doesn't use a 2, so same reasoning as for this. Oh, it can't be an 8, so it's a 9. Without using 2, can only be 1, 3, and 5. And because of this, this is a 5, and this is 1 and 3. So the missing digits, well, this will never be 8 or 9, so the other digit is here, and this is 4. That's interesting. 4, so if the sum is 8, then it's 1 and 3. And if it's 9, then it's 2 and 3. So that's definitely this, and it includes a 3. Now we know that there's 1 and 3 here, and we know that 5 can't appear here, so the sum is 8. And this can't be a 2, so that's a 3. No, sorry. So it's a 1, 3, 4 triple. That's not a 1 or a 4, so that's a 3. We get a 1, 4 pair here, and a 6 there. Now the other digit 6 or 8 is here. This is 1 or 2. And this can't be 1, 2, 3 because of this, so that's an 8. And this is 1, 2, and 5. And we get a 9 here. So that's a nice beginning. So now we must move towards the center. And actually the center is definitely a place to look. The minimum I can have here is 2 plus 5. This won't be 2, but it won't be more than 1. That's a minimum of 7, so this can only be 1. And this will be 8 or 9. So 8 would work with 2 and 5, and 9 would work with 2 and 6. And actually, I can't have any other digits than those. So there's definitely a 2. And this is 2, 5, or 6. This is 2 or 5. And we know there's a 7 among the other 2 cells. So now here the minimum. We know there's a 3 here. Oh, what did I do? Yes. Oh, this 5 is not here. So there's 1 over 2 here. So we could have at minimum a 1 and a 5. So that's a minimum of 6. And this is a maximum of 3. So that's a 2 or a 3. And the interesting part, so 7 will have to be somewhere here. And so if I have a 2 here, then we will need 2, 5, and 2 to have a 9. If this is an 8, then we must have 2, 1, and 5 here, 7 here, 6 there. And actually what? There's some constraint with what goes here. If it's a 9, then I get a 9 here, which is very possible, very likely even. If this is an 8, then I get an 8 here, and that looks feasible as well. Let's say 3, 1, 3, and 1. That works. But 8 would be much more of a constraint. So I know there's a, oh no, that's a 1 or a 2. I don't think I can find anything more. Just this 6 is somewhere here. 6 here would force this to be a 1, this to be a 2, this to be a 9, this to be a 9. I don't think I can do anything more right now. So here we have 2, 4, 5, 8. No, 2, 4, 7, 8. 8 is somewhere here. 2, 4, 7. Could interact with what happens here. Not sure. Here we have 3, 4, 7, 9. Well, I've got no clue what to do with that. But this should be interesting. What's the minimum this can be? This has a minimum of 3. This has a minimum of 1. And those have a global minimum of 3. So that's a minimum of 7. It can't be 7 or 9. So that's definitely 8. Well, that's interesting. Right. And there's only 1 degree of freedom. So it could be 2, 3, 1, and 2. Or it could be 1, 3, 1, and 3. We'll see about that later. But this definitely is 1 or 2. But first, let's ponder the implications of this 8. This is 9, this is 8. And now that we know that this is 9, this is a 2, 3 pair. This is a 1. So here we have a 1, this arrow. could be with a 6 or a 5. That's not a 6, so this is 1 or 5, this is 1, 5 or 6. And this is 5 or 7. And really, this has a minimum of 3, so it's 3 or 4. And the options are 1, 3, and 1 and 3 here, or 2, 3, or 1, 4 with a sum of 5, and 1 and 2 here. So the options are 1, 2, 3, and there's definitely a 1 in here. 1 or 3 here, 1, 2 or 3 here. This is some progress, definitely. What about this? The minimum we can have. Well, this is not as constrained. But let's have a look. The minimum here is 1. Here it's 3. Minimum of 4. Minimum of 1 here. So the minimum value here is 5. So it has to be 5, 8, or 9, but that's still a lot of possibilities. What about this row? Well, what about it? Oh, there's a 7 here. Just noticing. Well, there's a 7 here. Don't know where to place it, right? What about this? The minimum value here is 3. And then what about this one? But if this is 3, then we must have 4, 1 here. So that's a minimum of 2. So this is at least 5. Question is, so it will be at least, so it can only be 6 in this case. Actually, could it be 4? 4, we need 3, 1. This would be too much. So this can only be a 6. And that's interesting because now this has to be a 7, this has to be a 6. I can remove 7 from this cell. And we have got 6 here. So this is 2 or 3 according to the value here. And then, so this 6, how can we have 6? This can't be 1 or 2. We could have 3 and 3, probably. This would be 4, this would be 1, this would be... No, that wouldn't work. 3, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 2. That would break. So this is more than 3, it has to be 4 or 5. And accordingly, this has to be 1 or 2. But also 3, 1, that works. 5, 1, 2, 3. Something tells me that this could never be a 4. That's it. If I tried to make this a 4, then this would be a 5, this would be a 1 to have 6, and this would be a 2, and then this 8 wouldn't be possible. So this is never a 4, that's a 3. And that is a 4. There's a 1, 2, 5 triple in this column, so this is 7 and 9. and this here is 3 and 4. And now in this row I get a 1, 3, 4 triple, and I don't think this is of any interest. But now this 1-2 pair prevents those from being 2. This is not a 2, so that is a 2, and that is 8. So those are a 2-5 pair. This now is a 6-7 pair. Which is not that useful, but now what? Now there's an 8 here by Sudoku. What? What can this be? Oh, here we need 1 somewhere, 3 and 5. So this is a 3 or 5. And the options here are 4, 5, 6, and 9. This wouldn't be 4, because I would need 3 and 1 is not possible. So, sorry, 4, 5, or 5, 6, or 9. But 5 would be 3 plus 2, that wouldn't work. 6 could be 3 plus 3. That would work. 5 plus 1 wouldn't. 9 would be 3 plus 6, or 5 plus 4. Both of them look possible. Obvious. But now there's a 6 here. That's the only available place in this box. So that's not a 6. This is 9 now. So this has to be 4 or 6. Here, there must be a 9 somewhere. This is tricky. Nothing awful up till now, but this is definitely tricky. This column still needs 1, 3, 5, and 9. So this is 1, 3, or 5. Don't know what to do with this. This arrow should be what unlocks the end of the soul. I'm not seeing. There's 7 here. So how do we unlock? So there's 9 here. This can only be 3, 4, or 6. Is there something in this column? I'm not seeing it. Could this be a 5? And I'm pretty sure it can't. Because if this is 5, then this has to be 8 or 9. Let's try. Put a 5, then this is 3. Now, it can't be 8 because it would need 1 and 2, and 2 is not available. And it couldn't be 9 because it would need 1 and 3, and none of them is available for this cell. So this can't ever be a 5. What then? Could this be a 5? Something similar is happening, I think. Oh no, actually, it could be with a 3 here and a 1 there. Sorry, I said a 3 here and a 1 there. I think that would work. With a 9 here. Oh no, the good question is, could this be a 5? Then odd digit, this would have to be odd. It could be 3, 1, and 1. Would that work? That really seems to work. I'm looking for a contradiction, but that seems to work. Now, could this be 8? Odd, this would be even. So 2 or 4. 4 plus 1 and 3. 2 plus 1 and 5. Oh, I don't see any issue with that. Tasty. So this is really, really tricky. And probably, oh sorry, I've been missing this for ages. There's no 2 here. So 4, 7, so this is 1, this is 2, this is 5, this is 1, so this one is not 5. And does it do anything else? Well, it could probably do something else. Or would it? I get the 1, 3 pair in this column. So this is 5 or 9. This is 5 or 9. Oh, this I've been missing for ages. This is 7, this is 6. This 7 gives a 9 here, 7 here, 5 here, 9 here. Oh, I've been missing digits available for a very long time. So this is not a 3, that's a 4, 6 pair, so this is a 5. This is now a 4, which completes this 6 arrow. That's right. Now 5 is not here, so this is 5. So this is 4 to complete 2, 9. That's a 6. That's not 7. So 7 is pushed here. That's 8. So this is now 5 with 3, 1, and 1, as I mentioned earlier. 1, 3. This 3, sorry, I can't pronounce 3. You can't pronounce the TH sound when you're French. That's really impossible. 4 here goes there. That's 8. So I spent a lot of time just digging where I didn't have to dig, sorry. Just missing obvious deductions. That again is typical canal. At least I didn't make any mistakes, it seems. Right, so this puzzle took me a very long time, but it shouldn't have taken such a huge time missing obvious stuff. Well, at least I managed to solve it. Thanks for watching this video and see you soon SudoKanard.